Just volunteered to get bumped. Let's see what happens. A lot of stressed out people. Crowded plane. I get a hotel room and dinner. Interesting. Hey guys, it's James and it's time to ramble one more time. Today I'm going to be talking about air travel during COVID. It's changed. Things are different. I used to travel over 200 days a year, a lot of it on planes. And I thought I was a pretty savvy traveler, but some things took me by surprise. And I thought I would share those with you. Just a case in point, just a point of reference. I'm discussing a flight from Amarillo to Dallas to Portland the weekend of the 19th, 18th. So yeah, 18th through the 20th. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Before I do, please remember, please hit the subscribe down below and hit the notification bell so you'll know when I have a new video. I promise next time it won't be such a long span in between. I was really hoping to share some great news with you. I went down to look at a partnership with a really great ownership group in Portland. And although we did come to an agreement, it's not right now. It's not in the immediate future. So I'm going to keep on doing my stuff here at home and consulting and working from my home office and bringing you content. So there's the good thing. I had held off making this video primarily because I wanted to see if I could share a big piece of personal news. So yeah, there's that. So hopefully you don't have to travel, but you might find the need or the desire to fly somewhere. Now that things have kind of, I'm not saying they're died down, but at least they're not as urgent as they were at the beginning. And I have flown since COVID began. But even since the beginning of COVID, things have changed pretty dramatically. One thing that's changed, at least on American Airlines, is you can no longer wear this type of mask. Now, I did research back in January or February when I bought this mask, and I was told, or at the time, this was like a recommended mask, right? It's got the PM 4.5 filter inside, which is the second best filter, I guess, under the N95, which at the time was restricted only for medical use. And it has an anti-wicking vent. You can't have a mask with this vent. So if you're going to fly, unless you want a cloth mask stuck on your face all day, which they will hand to you at the airport, make sure you bring a solid cloth mask like the one I had in the intro. By the way, speaking of intro, that great music at the very beginning, that's by my good friend Eddie Brooks, also known as Alien Lifeform. It's an original piece, original composition, so thanks, Eddie. So back to traveling. I typically arrive 30 minutes before my flight. It seems to me that they're boarding sooner. Usually they're boarding 15 to 10 minutes before the flight. Now it's like 20 minutes. So almost immediately after I got through security, they were already calling for people to board in boarding group 1. I still had some time. I didn't really worry about it, but what I didn't do was buy a much needed water, okay? Here's the problem. You can't take anything. You can bring your snacks through security, but on these short, hot flights, this was like an hour-long flight, they didn't provide water, pretzels, nothing. The only thing they hand you is a antibacterial wet nap so you can wipe your area down, and I appreciate that. But on this crowded morning flight, no coffee, nothing like that. And I know that sometimes on the shorter than an hour flights, they don't even bother, but this one, American Eagle, they didn't do anything at all. I get to the airport, and I've noticed that a lot of times these multi-connection flights, the time between the connections has gotten shorter. I think that's so that you spend less time in the airport. That's my opinion. Because you have to wear your mask the entire time. Once you get to the airport, you have to wear your mask. You have to wear it on the plane. The only time you can't wear your mask is you don't have to wear your mask when you're eating or drinking. As a matter of fact, when you go to board now, there's a new announcement that says if you do not wish to comply with American Airlines requirement to wear a mask at all times unless you're eating or drinking, then you will be banned from all future flights on American. That seems kind of harsh. I understand. I wore my mask. And I didn't see anyone that had a problem with it, but I've never heard that comment. And they don't make announcements like that unless there's a reason to, right? So I get on the flight, the second flight. This time I got a nice big smart water I purchased. So I was feeling pretty smug. And on this longer 3-hour flight, they handed us a little Ziploc baggie, and inside of it was a very small 6-ounce water, one Biscoff cookie pack, and another antibacterial wet nap so you can wipe down your area. And all this flight was 3 hours and not at all full for whatever reason. It was enough that I got my own row. I was able to move seats, after everyone was boarded. So, free up some space. And so I got my own row. I'm sitting there, and there's probably 4 or maybe 5 flight attendants on this flight. They weren't making the regular rounds. I was a little bit tired. I didn't really pay attention. I put on the headphones. I stuck on a movie, and I flew to Portland with my big bottle of water and my little baggie of snacks. By the way, going through security, at least on the way back, they didn't have me remove my Ziploc, which contained my liquids. We kept it in the backpack. That's new. I don't know if they have new scanning technology there or what, but at Portland at least, we didn't have to remove anything from the bag unless it was bigger than an iPad, and electronic. So, the way back, same situation. Longer flight, get the little baggie of goodies. Shorter flight, nothing. But that's not what this video is about. I wanted to share with you 2 tips that you may not know about, or you just may not have ever paid attention to. But there are opportunities in volunteering when you fly. On the flight back on Sunday, I fly into Dallas. I've got like 30 minutes to get from one to the other before they start boarding. One gate to the other. They happen to be close by. I grab myself something to eat. I grab myself a drink. And I go walking up just as they're about to start boarding. And the attendant at the desk, at the boarding desk, makes an announcement and says, I need 4 volunteers for people that will voluntarily give up their seats on this flight. We think it's overbooked, and we won't know until we do all the final seat assignments. Okay, no problem. I did that little intro at the beginning. There were a bunch of people. There were about 6 people standing around. 3 of us volunteered. Myself, I went straight to the gate and volunteered. 2 ladies that were sitting down there as well volunteered. There was another young lady, didn't volunteer. African-American gentleman, he had the weirdest of all. He had actually flown in on that same plane, but had deplaned to get something to eat, and when he went to replane, they had assigned his seat to someone else. And then there were 2 other people that, one other person, I'm sorry, that was sitting a little ways away. I don't know what his story was. So the gate attendant very, very politely tells us, just sit to the side, and once the plane is fully boarded and the gate's closed, I'll give you your vouchers. I'm like, yes. So I got my food voucher, $12 food credit, good for that night or the next morning there at the airport at any of their food vendors. By the way, if you don't use all 12, they don't give you change, right? So get as close to 12 as you can. They gave me a hotel one-night stay voucher, which has a free shuttle included there from the airport to the hotel and back again in the morning. And they got me guaranteed on the first flight. So that was all very cool. The hotel, by the way, at Wyndham, very nice, very clean. I was impressed. A little understaffed, as most hotels are now. So when we did finally get on the shuttle, it's going to take about 45 minutes, no matter what they tell you, okay? 45 minutes. And then finally got to the hotel. There was another about 15-minute wait. Only one desk clerk. This is common these days, folks. There are over 1 million people in the hospitality industry that are currently out of work that normally are employed. So think that through. And then I get a $750 American Airlines travel voucher, good for 1 year, fully transferable. I can use it. I can gift it. There's no blackout dates. Made my trip. I love it when American Airlines pays me to fly with them. That's freaking awesome. But more important than that, here's the thing. I got it, and the 2 ladies that volunteered with me got it, and no one else. Let me explain. When you do them the courtesy of volunteering to make their life easier, they reward you. But if you're stubborn and you hold on to your seat assignment and wait till the last second, the young lady that was traveling, that was sitting in front of me at the boarding area, they gave her a $12 food voucher, and that was it. When she found out what we had gotten, she also asked if she could get the overnight accommodation. And although the gate attendant was very polite, he said the only thing I can give you is a 50% off coupon, which is great if you have the money for the hotel. But if you don't, the African American gentleman who deplaned and then got bumped, he was given overnight accommodations and a $12 food voucher, but not the the credit. And then the gentleman at the other side, he also was given just a food voucher. So all six of us, right? All six of us got bumped, but only the three of us that volunteered got the $750 credit. Some of them didn't even get the night. So if you want to be stubborn and hold on to that seat assignment, well, you're going to get bumped. Or you could get bumped. You might not get bumped, but if you get bumped, you're not going to get all the perks, right? It wasn't like a five-star hotel, and it was inconvenient. I wanted to go home, but it really didn't interfere with my plans too much. One of the ladies that volunteered to get bumped, she actually called her boss and said, I'm going to be a day late. She took a PTO day. Why not, right? It's $750. So I guess it's worth it. Unless you have a really good job, then you should think that through. The other recommendation that I have, though, is that sometimes it's a smaller announcement. But let's say you've got a carry-on bag that's a little bit bigger. It's just within the restrictions of the size for carry-on. Very frequently, they will do an announcement that the flight is full or the flight is heavy, and there may not be room in the overhead compartments, and they're doing a complimentary bag check at the gate for your carry-on luggage. What that means is they're going to check your bag. It's going to arrive at your destination, and you don't have to pay the $25 per bag fee. So if you want to get around that, maybe take a little gamble, as long as your bag is within that restricted, size, they'll check it for you right there. They had your little red tag. When you get to your destination, you go down to the carousel, your bag's waiting for you, and it didn't cost you a dime. So just two quick tips about why you should always volunteer when you are traveling by air. Beyond that, that's it. That's all I got. I hope you guys are all safe and healthy. We are, in case you're wondering. We're all safe and healthy. Please hit subscribe. Please hit the notification button. And we'll ramble again really soon, I promise. Thanks, guys.